Welcome, all my fellow Washington brethren and sistren. I am your man and resident Washington football team fan, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the Washington Football Report. This is an exclusive limited series, and we've finally gotten to the very end as we've knocked down every single position except one. All on the offensive side, all on the defensive side except the safety position. That's right, the eraser, the last line of defense. They are up. We're going to talk about where Washington ranks within the NFC East, and then big picture, where do they rank in the entire league. So let's jump into where they first rank in the division, and then we'll talk about where they rank in the league. So you start in the division and where Washington ranks, and let's go through the entire division and talk about how these rankings came to be. We start with the team bringing up the rear, and that is the Dallas Cowboys. Looking at this list of safeties, you see exactly why they thought it was necessary to go out and acquire Malik Hooker, a guy that I was very, very interested in, wanted Washington to kick the tires on. I was surprised that he lasted this long on the free agent market. I don't know if there's a health concern there, if he didn't pass some physicals, because he's been to other places and had free agent visits, but he went to Dallas for a second time, ultimately just signed with the Cowboys, and as you can see, clearly they need the help. This group is very uninspiring. None of these guys move the needle whatsoever. I think he being Malik Hooker, has a tremendous opportunity to revive his career. He's only 25 years old. And so he'll come into the mix with these group of safeties here and have a chance to start. I really do truly believe that if he's healthy and he's able to perform in camp, I don't see why he won't have a great chance to start amongst these guys. This is as vanilla as it gets at the safety position in this league. It might be the worst group of safeties in the league. That may be an overstatement, but again, this is part of the reason the Cowboys have struggled defensively. And really, this entire division isn't very good at the safety position. Let's be frank and candid with one another. The Cowboys have been chasing the ghost of Darren Woodson. They haven't had a real good safety since Darren Woodson. You could argue Roy Williams, but Roy Williams was terrible. He was just a big hitter. Washington's been chasing the ghost of Sean Taylor. Haven't had a great safety since Taylor. The Eagles are chasing the ghost of Brian Dawkins. Haven't had a great safety since Brian Dawkins. And the Giants, they're chasing the ghost of, well, I guess Landon Collins. They haven't had a great safety in forever. I don't even remember the last time the Giants had a difference maker back there. So this division hasn't been a breeding ground for great safety play. And the Cowboys, to me, are the poster child of it. This group right here, and add Malik Hooker to this mix, this is why the Cowboys are in last as we currently speak. You go to the team that is third in this division, and it's the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, when I look at this list of safeties that you see in front of you, I do see promise. I see Anthony Harris. That's the first name that should jump out at you. A guy that they got for relatively cheap. A 1-year, $5 million prove-it deal, essentially, after being franchise tagged by the Vikings. And had he come out last year in free agency, if the Vikings don't franchise tag him, he probably gets a massive deal coming off the best year of his career. He had a down year last year. The Vikings as a team had a down year last year, and he kind of suffered because of it. The league spoke. Nobody was willing to give this guy a multi-year contract, at least the size that he was looking for. So he settles for a 1-year, $5 million deal with the Eagles. That's a good deal for the Eagles. We'll see what Anthony Harris does with that deal. He's 29 years old, so I don't know if he's going to be able to parlay that into a multi-year deal with big guaranteed money or not, but that's nor here nor there. He's a good safety. So is Rodney McLeod. But again, look at his age. He's 31 years old. He's getting up there in age. But the safety position is one of those positions you can play well into your 30s. So age isn't a big factor. But McLeod is okay. He's not great. He's not a difference maker, if you ask me. So you look at the rest of these guys. It's just a hodgepodge of who's who. I think Kayvon Wallace has a chance to be a contributor, but he's a young player going into the second year of his career. So this is another list of guys that really don't move the needle outside of Anthony Harris, and we don't know what he's going to do in Philadelphia. We can only assume he's going to be really good, but we will see. Him and Rodney McLeod McLeod probably form a solid duo, but they're kind of one and the same in terms of the type of player they are. So we'll see what the Eagles are able to do there. But to me, Anthony Harris gives them a chance at the safety position. That's why the Eagles aren't dead last. But then again, it's hard to top the Cowboys' futility at the safety position. The Eagles are third in the division. And then you get to the number one team in the division, and that's the New York Football Giants. And so you look at this list of safeties, and you look and you say, okay, Adoree Jackson isn't a safety. You're probably spot on there. I think he's a corner. And you look at the rest of these names. Who is Madre Harper? Who is Montre Hardage? This isn't an inspiring group. You see Logan Ryan down there, and you say, okay, they got Logan Ryan. What else do they have? Why are they number one? Good question. Let's add the rest of the safeties to this list. This is going to make a big difference. You see that? You see what I just did there? That's why the Giants are number one. Right there. That piece that was missing, that completes the Giants' room, and that's why they're number one in the division. They've got the best safety in the division in Jabril Peppers. And honestly, I don't know if it's very close. So Peppers elevates them. Then you get a young Xavier McKinney. We don't know how good he's going to be for the Giants or not. I don't really want to add him to this conversation for any other reason than saying he provides them with that upside that you're looking for with a young player that you think has a chance to be really, really good. You need that in your room to give you that well-roundedness that you're looking for. So you have the star in Jabril Peppers. You got the compliment to him with Logan Ryan. I think that's a great yin and yang. And then you've got the young safety, Xavier McKinney, to continue to give you depth and a guy that you think can grow into the position and potentially become a star in his own right. So to me, the Giants have that great synergy there of a starting free, a starting strong, guys that are somewhat interchangeable. And then you got a young guy on the bench that can give you some snaps as well, and Xavier McKinney that may turn out to be a stud. And then Julian Love, who's making the transition from corner to safety, he may ultimately be a Logan Ryan clone in about a year or two. So they've got some stuff here, do the Giants. I think they're the best safety group in the division. That leaves Washington as the second best safety group in the division, behind the Giants, in front of the Eagles and the Cowboys. Why are the Giants higher than Washington? Well, I've already told you Jabril Peppers is the best safety in the division. And then I look at what they have in Logan Ryan. I think he is a tremendous free safety. You saw what he was able to do for that Giants defense last year. We don't have a free safety on his level. We don't have a strong safety on the level of Jabril Peppers. And so I really don't think the discussion is that long and necessary. The Giants have the best group in the division. I think we have more depth, than every team in the division, but in starters at the safety position in particular really heavily outweigh depth. And when you've got two good quality top-notch starters like the Giants do, depth isn't going to be able to alone overcome that. So while I love what Washington has in terms of depth, you know, they've got multiple guys that can play free safety. They've got multiple guys that can play the strong. It's not the kind of quality. You're going quantity over quality, and I'm a quality over quantity guy at the safety position, which is why my list looks the way that it does. When you get to inside the league, Washington, surprisingly, I thought they might be a little bit lower than this. They're 11th in the league. That's not bad. Not bad at all. I was expecting them to be somewhere in the 16, 17 range. But 11th overall. Let's get to how we arrived at that conclusion, and I'll give you some tidbits along the way. So Arizona Cardinals, I actually think they have some stuff. That was one of those teams I stopped on and kind of weighed the pros and cons of going with Washington over them. But ultimately, I thought we had a little bit more. They got Budda Baker. That's why I stopped. But after Budda Baker, I don't think they have a bunch of guys that necessarily move the needle. So I gave Washington the nod. So one of the biggest criteria for me, if you've got a stud, as long as he's got a tag team partner, dead conversation. You got us. Because we don't have a stud. We got guys. We got a bunch of guys. We can throw a bunch of guys at you. If you got a stud, by himself, we can outnumber you with just the sheer number of guys we can throw at you. But if you come with a tag team partner, if that stud comes with a dude with him, it's over. We got nothing for you. Buda Baker doesn't have that other guy with him. So we got him. Falcons, we're better than them. Ravens, we're better than them. Bills, this was a toughie because they got two dudes. They're both 30 now, but I love both of them equally. Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. They're two smart football players. They're ball hawks. They're always around the action. They're heady. I love both of those guys. This was tough because neither one of them are stars, but man, are they really good. But I said, okay, because they don't have a star and they're both really good, let's go to the depth, and that's where we got them. So I was able to put us over the Bills, but it's close, man. I mean, you probably ask 10 people, 9 of them will probably pick Buffalo, but I just look at the depth of our room, and I'll take that over. They're solid. Neither one of them are stars, and that's why I took Washington over them, but it was close. It was splitting hairs. I literally went back and forth on that one. Carolina Panthers were better than them. Bears were better than them. Bengals, same thing. They are in the Arizona Cardinals discussion because they have a stud safety in John Bates. Not John Bates. Bates. So in looking at Bates and looking at Jesse Bates III and the rest of the group, all he needed was a tag team partner. He has nothing there with him. And so I had to give us the nod, but it was close. If he had just a dude with him, they got us. But they don't got us. Browns, they got too much stuff. They got one of my favorite safeties in the league in John Johnson from the Rams in free agency. They got Grant Delpit coming off of injury. We don't know what he's going to be. He's essentially a rookie coming off of a redshirt season, but still, that's depth. They got a bunch of guys. They go about 3-4 deep at the safety position to the Browns. We got nothing for them. So, Cowboys, talked about that already. Broncos, Justin Simmons is my favorite safety in the league, and he's coming with a tag team partner in Jackson. So, they got us. We got nothing for them. Lions, we're better than them. Packers, very, very close because they got two really good safeties. Similar to the Buffalo Bills. They're in that Buffalo Bills discussion because they got Darnell Savage and they got Adrian Amos. Two guys that I would take in a heartbeat on our team and wouldn't even think twice about it. But neither one of them are stars. They're really good. And then I said, okay, so if now we get into the depth of the situation, because I think Adrian Amos and Landon Collins, pretty similar players. Darnell Savage, I think you could take 2 or 3 of our guys and equal them up to him. All right, our depth is just better. We just got more. They don't have anything after those 2 guys. So I gave us the nod there, but it's close. I could see anyone saying, nah, I take the Packers guys over yours. Fine, fair enough. Texans were better than them. Colts were better than them. Jags were better than them. Chiefs, they got a stud. They got the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. Does he have a tag team partner? Yes, he does. He has Juan Thornhill. Move on. You got the Chargers. They got Derwin James. I always assume health when I do these. You could easily say, he's never healthy. You're right. You're correct. I got no comeback for that. But if he's healthy, he's better than anything we have, and it's not close. You add in Nasir Adderley. He's got a tag team partner. Move on. Okay? So then you go to the Rams. We got them. But then you go to the Raiders. They're interesting. I actually have the Raiders over us. And they go 3 deep. They got Carl Joseph, okay, who I thought revived his career last year in Cleveland. And so they got him on a second act in Vegas. Then you got Jonathan Abram, who is just a heat-seeking missile for the Raiders. And then they drafted Trayvon Myrig. I don't know what he's going to be, but, man, that's a hell of a threesome, if I may say so myself. I take the Raiders over what we have in Washington. Dolphins, better than them. Vikings, better than them. Patriots, better than them. Saints, better than them. Giants, we already talked about that. They're better than us. Jets, better than them. Eagles, talked about them already. We're better than them. Steelers, they were interesting because they've got Minkah Fitzpatrick, and all he needed was a road dog. I don't love the safety that they have next to him. They have Edmonds, Terrell Edmonds next to him. I don't think that he has a real road dog out there personally. So because of that, I gave us the nod. If he just had one dude to ride with him, they would have had us. 49ers, they just got a bunch of stuff they can throw at you. You know, they got Jimmy Ward. They got Jacoski Tart. They just signed Jefferson, who still may have something left in the tank. They drafted Hufanga from USC. They got a lot of stuff. They're better than us. Seahawks, you know what it is. I've already told you. Jamal Adams, stud. Does he have a tag team partner? Quandre Diggs, end of discussion. You move on to the next team, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Antoine Winfield burst onto the scene last year. If not for Chase Young, he wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. Does he have a tag team partner? He's got two back there in Jordan Whitehead, and he's also got the other guy, Mike something. I can't remember his last name. Let's call him Mike A. They got stuff at Tampa in that secondary, period. And all of it is young. So we got nothing for the Bucks. They get the nod. And then the Titans, they got a hell of a twosome back there between Amani Hooker and Kevin Byard. We got nothing for them. Okay? Both of those dudes are nasty and they're young. Got nothing for them. So Titans get the nod over us as well. So that's how we get to 11th. But that's a lot higher than I thought we would be. Now, there are some arguments to be made here. Buffalo, Green Bay. You could argue the Steelers if you wanted to. The Cardinals with Budda Baker. There's some arguments to be made. And you could probably have us 13th or 14th somewhere in there. But I've got us at 11. Pretty damn high. But I told you, the safety position isn't that big of a deal for me. I said, I'm a lot higher in our safety position than most of you out there. And I think this kind of proves that right here. This kind of bears that out. But in any event, what do you think about the list? Too high? Too low? Did I get some wrong? Did I get some right? Leave it down in the comment section. Can't wait to hear what you have to say about the Washington football team's safety position, where they're ranked in the division. Do you think we're better than the Giants? I don't see how you could, but I'd love to hear your argument. All right, leave it down in the comment section. Can't wait to hear from you. Also, I am a Washington fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Washington spirit will never die. Washington spirit will never fold until we meet again. Hail to our beloved Washington football team. Well, that's going to do it for this limited series. It was fun. We've gone through all the positions. Now let's see if they live up to these rankings. Do they exceed them? Do they fall below the expectations that I've set for them? It's going to be fun to see. Come back and look at these lists and see how they perform when this season meets its conclusion. But that's going to have this series meet its conclusion. And that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T. If you haven't already done so, do me a huge favor and subscribe to the Louie T Network for more great content. Turn on your notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And also hit the like button, as that helps this channel grow immensely. Until next time, get off the bench, get in the game, and kick it with me, your man Louie T. You guys have a good one. Take care.
LouieTeeNetwork.